These people have been through a devastating ordeal. And when we were working in Panama City, it's kind of all the same. The progression is the same. You've got the people coming in that really, really want to help, and they do a great job. And then you've got the opportunists that come in that are very anxious to get your insurance money that you accept. And then you give them partial payment on what they need to get for supplies and whatnot. They leave town and you never see them again, unfortunately.
Put that coffee down.
Creators are leaders. Be careful what kind of leaders you're producing here.
Helen, we're both in sales.
Let me tell you why I suck as a salesman.
They realized that to be in power, you didn't need guns or money or even numbers. You just needed the will to do what the other guy wouldn't.
I'm not leaving. The show goes on.
Well, hello there, friend. Welcome to the Construction Leadership Podcast, where we deliver ideas and insights from leaders across the construction industry every week to help you lead more effectively. This episode is brought to you today by our friends at Capital One Trade Credit. If you're interested in increasing cash flow while decreasing risk, you want to check out Capital One Trade Credit. They make it easier for your customers to buy from you with lower risk. Again, Capital One Trade Credit. Now, as you are surely aware of to some degree, Hurricane Ian was the deadliest hurricane to strike the state of Florida since 1935. It's the deadliest hurricane to hit the mainland United States since Katrina. And our hearts go out to those who lost loved ones, who've lost homes, who are in utter devastation right now. And amidst this, Kimberly Simonson, who is the president of Simonson Design USA, based out of Minneapolis and Texas, but also spends time every year and has for a long time in the state of Florida, reached out to offer assistance and guidance to those that are dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. Now, being from Chicago and living in Dallas, Texas, I am especially clueless about all these things other than the stories that I've heard. And of course, the risks involved of working with contractors that show up in the aftermath of such a devastation. And knowing that there are bad actors who say they want to help, will take a down deposit that you get from the insurance company and disappear. And while that is one clear risk, there are other risks involved that Kimberly talks about firsthand. She's lived through this. They personally lost their residence, so not only can they offer guidance, but they are living through this as well. So anyway, Kimberly reached out and said, I'd like to share some thoughts and hopefully minimize the future pain of people that are getting their lives back together. So I was thrilled to have her on and share her insights. So without further ado, please enjoy my relatively brief conversation with Kimberly Simonson of Simonson Design USA as we talk about moving past Hurricane Ian. And please, if you know of anyone who's going through this process right now and has been negatively impacted by it, of course, we want them to know that we are thinking of them and praying for them, but also there are some insights here that can hopefully make their lives just a little bit easier and better as they move forward. As always, thank you for listening. So Miss Kimberly Simonson, welcome to the show. I am thrilled that you reached out specifically to talk about best practices, some insights. Given your experience in areas that have devastation caused by the hurricanes, and we're talking about Florida specifically, and me being based in Dallas, I feel somewhat guilty. I've been kind of aloof from staying on top of what was happening and this devastation that you're talking about caused by Hurricane Ian. And you having been through this, and obviously the state of Florida and others that have a lot of experience, unfortunately, with these natural disasters, there's, I think, some common feelings of impatience and a desire to get back to whatever our normal life was that puts a lot of folks unnecessarily in a really bad position. So I appreciate you making time. Maybe let's just start. Let's put the most important thing first. As you were debriefing me, it seems like there's this natural juxtaposition between the need to get back to our normal life and how the process works and some of the biggest risks out there. So start us at the top. What's the main headline you want to get across to folks that are dealing with this?
So I think that the patient's word is really important. Like I said, these people have been through a devastating ordeal. And when we were working in Panama City, it's kind of all the same. The progression is the same. You've got the people coming in that really, really want to help, and they do a great job. And then you've got the opportunists that come in that are very anxious to get your insurance money that you accept, and then you give them partial payment on what they need to get for supplies and whatnot. They leave town and you never see them again, unfortunately. There are those people out there. Now, the insurance agents and the adjusters and the contractors that are bonded and insured in this area, they're just as overwhelmed as all the citizens right now. But those are the ones that you really want to wait for. With the insurance companies, like I had told you before, they've got stacks and stacks of claims. They're trying to get everybody resolved. So they're going to go in, they're going to assess the house. They're going to say, this is what we think it's going to cost you. And that is reasonable. However, what we found in Panama City after their hurricane was they took their claims. They couldn't get a contractor because they were putting back together their lives. And then 2-3 months went down, 6 months went down, mold started growing, water started coming in, roofs weren't tarped, leaking was coming in. So then everybody has this water damage and this mold, and it's, uninhibitable. So what message I want to get these citizens, number one, is be patient. There's going to be a parallel life. There's going to be putting your life back together. Then there's going to be the life that you have to live dealing with insurance companies and adjusters. And like I said before, these people want to help. Mm-hmm. However, they want to help quickly. And what the solution is not quick. So I recommend that people go to Angie's List, go to the chamber, go to the local home builders association. Team Rubicon is a great asset in the community right now. Find a builder first. The builder needs to get a designer. The designer needs to go through with the clients how to put their home back together, what they want to do. That goes to the builder. The builder gets a takeoff, and then that's presented to the insurance company. The adjusters are great. They come in and they can see, what needs to happen. However, it's premature. And so I want the citizens to be able to get what they're due in order to redo things. And with the prices of lumber and everything right now and work. Also, going to your chamber, going to the Home Builders Association and to Angie's List, they do a complete background check on all of their members. And so they know that they're bonded, they're insured, they know what they're doing. I've been a member of Angie's List since, I suppose, 3 years ago, December. They're a great company. They do their due diligence. And so you just don't take the person that comes up and knocks on your door and you don't know any of their credentials. And I know that you're so excited to get back and get to normal living, but we want to do it right. And so I've seen a couple of my clients in Panama City, more than a couple, unfortunately, who called me just, crying and said, my insurance money is gone and we never saw him again. No way of getting a hold of him, had a burn phone, took off. And hopefully those people are a handful, but I already know from my clients in Lee County that even the cleaning companies that are coming in that are not from the area, they're charging like $170 an hour to do cleanup. That should be $45 an hour. It's just that bad. So I just want everybody to be really patient, do your, research, go to the people that know what they're doing, like Angie's List, Rubicon, the chamber, and really get some good insight. Local lumber companies will be able to have a preferred builder list, handyman, subcontractors. They'll be able to give a list to all of the citizens, and then they can start going from there and making calls. That's what's really important.
Yeah, Kimberly, two things jump out to me. It would seemingly be my instinct as well. Something terrible happens. We can't live in our home. My first call is to the insurance company, right? And I think your insight and recommendation to go the builder first, get a designer, you get the scope, you can get pricing, and then you submit that as a package. Once you say that, I'm like, that totally makes sense. And the other thing is someone who, I love negotiation. I'm about to put out a small book on lumber building material negotiations. I think your point too is you're going to be really excited. That number might seem large when the initial settlement, offer comes. It might not be because this might not happen in weeks or unfortunately even months. And you fast forward, and obviously what happens when you have building materials in an open area with moisture, you can have a whole other set of problems. So maybe any other insight, Kimberly, about how to confidently negotiate with an insurance company when you do realize that speed is obviously of the essence. You want to get back to normalcy as soon as possible.
Right. Well, you can call them first. That's no problem. Find out what your coverage is. I know some people are having a problem because they're inland, so they don't have flood insurance. I believe that FEMA and or the Corps of Engineers is going to come in and supplement that right now, which hopefully will do, which they normally do in areas that don't typically get flooded, but they are flooded now. That's going to take a while as well. So being patient and saying to your insurance company, look, you can have an adjuster come out, that would be great, but here's my process. I'm going to get a builder. I'm going to get a designer that knows what they're doing. Mm-hmm. They're going to submit the plan to the builder. We're going to get a takeoff. I'm going to submit those numbers to you. Then we can start talking. Right now, the consumer needs to know that building right now is anywhere to pour a foundation about $130 a square foot for concrete alone.
Okay.
So the build, if you're doing a gut or if you're doing a rebuild or put together, you can count on anywhere from $120 a square foot to $400 a square foot. I mean, it's that far of a gap.
Yeah.
So you've got to negotiate that with the builder as well. Like I said, the builders are also devastated in that area, but those are the ones that you want to work on the rebuild. You know, the people that are coming in, some of them, like I said, are reputable. And if you've got just a basic cleanup or a basic gut, fine. But do not give any of your insurance money to anyone until that job is done. If they need materials, the homeowner needs to go out and get the list of what they need. Keep that, pay them after. Mm-hmm. It's just, it doesn't work that way. We had people come into Panama City and say, we need a place to live. We brought in a crew. We need to get our rent money ahead of time. We need to get, be able to do this. That's not your problem. Unfortunately, it's not your problem. Your problem as the homeowner who's putting their life together is not to make it more convenient for the people who are coming in and trying to get the work. It's all about you and your family.
Kimberly, this is all fantastic advice. And I can only imagine not only the range of emotions with the devastation and the loss of life and pets and home and everything. The instinct is just to go as fast as possible. And yet everything is slow it down, incremental progress, one step at a time. I can only imagine. So I appreciate you informing me, and hopefully this helps folks. Maybe too, if folks have questions and they want to follow up with you directly or learn more, maybe give them some directions on where they can follow up from there.
Yeah. So, obviously, other than FEMA, Team Rubicon, anybody who wants to call me and ask me any questions about this, my brother and I went through it with our poor clients in Panama City. I've been talking to people for the last 3 days. They can call me on my cell, 218-791-1662, or they can email me, KimberlyS@SimonsonDesignStudios.com.
Okay.
And I will try to walk them through everything. I'm happy to work with them. The one thing that I want to mention is that builders that are working with insurance companies that have experience working with insurance companies do their estimates in a program called Xactimate. Xactimate is what the insurance companies use. So your listeners should ask their contractors specifically if they will send an estimate in an Xactimate. It'll make things go a lot faster with the insurance companies.
That's great. Awesome. Kimberly, thank you. Always great to see you. Thanks for reaching out.
You too.
And I know you spend time in Florida annually. Just
quite a bit.
Our hearts go out to those folks, and appreciate the work you're doing.
Unfortunately, our place is gone as well. So we're going to be down there kind of living off the cuff. But you know what? It's worth going down there and helping out. And I just, we've got a lot of friends and family down there. And my heart goes out to everyone that's involved in this.
Got it. Awesome. Kimberly, thank you. Appreciate your thoughts.
All right. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right, friends, thank you for listening. With such a critical, important, and heavy topic, I think the only way to effectively close this out is to just jump to our mantra, which is you are owed nothing. Deliver value first. And for those in our community that are suffering the loss of loved ones, the loss of homes, the loss of their life for this period, look to help out in any way with thoughtfulness and generosity. Again, thank you for listening. Make a difference in someone's life today.